Okay, we on, Ken?
I don't think we've had it. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Hey, welcome everybody to the Sarpy County and Cities Wastewater Agency Board meeting. Today is March 22nd, 2023. It's 4 o'clock. This meeting will be held in accordance with the Nebraska open meeting rules, and those rules were posted on the north wall of our room. In attendance today, we have all 6 agency members: for the mayor of Springfield, Bob Roseland; the mayor of Gretna, Mike Evans; the mayor of La Vista, Doug Kindig; the mayor of Bellevue, Rusty Hike; the mayor of Papillion, David Black. I'm Don Kelly. I'm Sarpy County Commissioner. Our agency administrator is Dan Hoynes. Our agency treasurer is Phil Green. Our agency engineer is Jeff Thompson. Our agency legal counsel is Adam Charleston, and our agency secretary is Lisa Hare, and they're all present. If you would, please silence your phones and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any announcements any of the agency members would like to make? Any comments? Okay, then we're going to roll right into the staff reports, and we'll start with our agency administrator, Dan Hoynes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and member mayors. A couple of things to update you on. The first is there is a tour that is scheduled of the project next Monday. I'm looking for confirmation. At 2 p.m. The tour was requested by Tim Gaines, Senator Holcroft. Talk a little bit more about 769 in a minute or two, but Tim and others thought it would be important to, as this LB 769 makes its way through the legislative process, and Senator Holcroft has prioritized it, that he gets some eyes on that project. And because of some limitations and, quite frankly, public meetings, we couldn't invite all of the mayors to come in. And so I think Chairman Kelly will be on the tour. We're waiting for an RSVP from Vice Chair Kindig. Mayor Roseland, I think you've been invited and RSVP'd. One of the reasons we really want to point out was the importance to Springfield and a lot of that in that area, that missing middle and Kathleen. I think we have about a dozen or so of us that'll be on that tour with Hawkins. But in case you hear of that and feel like that we didn't think about you, we did. It's just limited and requested for the public meetings. Speaking of LB 769, so working with your administrators, the current status, obviously it's out of committee. Tim is working with Senator Clements and Appropriations Committee to try and get the funding in the appropriations bill. He's also putting together a fact sheet, Tim is, and I think it's next week. I'll be over in Lincoln with Tim, and we may engage some of you. And if you haven't seen it, I sent a sheet out to your administrators and asking if any of you have relationships with senators. What we're trying to do is, get to 25 votes. In case this thing has to be a standalone bill. And so if you have a connection through your administrator, let us know. But at this point, Tim wants all the communication to go through him, consistency and message. But at some point, we're going to have to feather this process out to make sure that we get to 25. So I appreciate your help. Third thing, haven't had a chance to brief you. I did, your administrators. It came up upon us really fast. We got a notice, I think, a little over 2 weeks ago from Congressman Bacon's Office of Potential Earmark Funding for Projects. Jeff Thompson and Lisa actually did the lion's share of the work, but we did submit on behalf of the agency an earmark to help fund our project. The specific earmark we asked for was help with a lift station down at Springfield, and that's about $6.5 million earmark that we requested. Every penny counts, right, Dave Ramsey? Every penny counts on this reducing, this funding gap. So we'll let you know if we hear on that coming up. If you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, a couple of minutes, I'm going to approach the podium here for a second, and you'll understand why. Not going to hit anybody with this. Can you hear me? So in December, we had a little end of the year recap with the administrators, consultants, such celebration at the end of the year over at Lansky's, actually, in Bellevue, I think. That's Mayor Hike's city. And I had seen all of these shovels sitting in Jeff Thompson's office, after, it was a year ago. I just looked at the date, I think April. It's when we had this ribbon cutting down in Springfield. And so I gave Jeff and Lisa a list of people to recognize. I think each city got one, each key consultant got one. We go over to the actual event, and I walk in, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, I forgot one that was coming in, a key contributor. So Steve Jensen, if you could come up here for a second, Steve. I felt terribly bad that day that Steve didn't have his shovel, and it was because I missed the list. I didn't have Lisa fact check me on it. But I wanted to present this to Steve. He's just one of the, he's certainly a key person over the last 4 or 5 years from my perspective, and I felt really, really bad, and I just didn't want to drop it off or ship it to him, but I wanted to formally present it to him on behalf of the agency, and this is your own Jensen Consulting shovel, so I hope you accept this with my sincere and humble apologies, Steve. Didn't mean to leave you out.
Well, thank you, Dan. It's not necessary, but it's been a great pleasure to work on this project, and what you've all accomplished so far and what's coming is going to be great for the county. I'm happy to be a part of that. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Will the ribbon cutting be plungers?
Don't give me an idea, Mayor.
All right, moving on to Jeff Thompson, our agency project engineer.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly, agency member mayors. Jeff Thompson, project engineer for the agency. If I can get the screen up.
They'll get it.
Jose. I will just walk you guys through a quick project update. It's probably starting over in Springfield. Progress there is nearing its end. I'm sure Mayor Roseland is excited to hear that news. In talking with the contractor, it sounds like mid-May is kind of the target date for commissioning of the cold water blowdown line that would accept the water from the Facebook Meta properties and ultimately end up in the creek at that point and not get discharged any further to the city of Omaha. So we're coordinating with Meta now to make that transition of flow from their system and how it's being circumvented now to our system and kind of working through the logistics on that. But for all intents and purposes, things are going very well there. This just gives you kind of an overview of the areas that are complete, everything from Highway 50 and Fairview Road all the way down to the just about the north side of the fairgrounds by the tractor pull area is done and been tested. They've got some cleanup work to do there, but for the most part, they're fairly well complete there. And then around Flug Road, they've got the undercrossing at Flug Road done, manholes set there. They got the creek crossing across Springfield Creek in, and they're continuing to work with another crew from the south working north. And so as you can see in that image, there's just a few gaps in there that they're trying to complete. Probably about 1,100 foot of pipe is all they have left to put in the ground. So things are progressing there fairly well. I know pictures kind of say 1,000 words. Aerial photography. This is the looking north, or excuse me, looking south into the grandstand area by the tractor pull. Flug Road's kind of in the background. I hope. Yeah, my mouse is working. I hope able to utilize that. The Flug Road's in the background here. The next photo just kind of moves us to the south side of Flug Road. Looking due west, you can see the creek crossing there with all the riprap in the bottom of the creek. They're through there, and they've got that pretty well buttoned up. There's some topsoil they need to put in, but things are looking really well there. Then the next photograph is basically hovering over Flug Road, looking straight south. As you can see in the background over here, this is about the extent of where they're at from the Springfield Creek wastewater plant north all the way to about this location. So they really just need to get up here to across this little rock axis at the creek to a manhole that they have here and basically complete that little connection there as well. So things are progressing very well in Springfield and happy with that progress. Moving on to Zweibel Creek, they're pretty much done at that location. Hawkins has all the pipe in the ground. They're making the last connection to a manhole this week. and they're continuing to test the pipe and manholes and whatnot. Things will be getting buttoned up so farmers can start planting. We got some calls from those folks, in particular along 72nd Street, wanting to know when they can plant, and I would expect in the next 2 weeks we'll probably see their pipe crew out of there and moving on to another job site. Just looking at pictures, it also kind of includes the Zweibel Creek Lift Station. This is a photograph looking due east off of South 63rd Street. You can see the wet well here again, a couple of the manholes, collection manholes, distribution manholes, and then the meter vault and valve vault at that location. Transformer pad is set for the electrical work that you can see right there. And for the most part, they just continue to do a lot of the interior work on those structures, and then they're going to start some of the ancillary piping work for underground electrical and plumbing. Same site here, just basically looking straight north. As you can see here, this is where we took a 90-degree turn and got across 63rd Street. 63rd Street has been crossed and has been opened back up, and I think things are in good shape here. This is a photograph looking straight west and then crossing the creek. Again, this is kind of looking northeast. You can see the creek crossing there that's been completed with the riprap in that area along the creek. And then looking straight north, pretty much all the pipe is in from the lift station to this location, except for in the far background in the upper portion of the page here where they're working right now to make that manhole connection with the last little bit of pipe. So that's pretty much the extent of the work that's happening there, but very, very close to finishing up that leg of work. Moving on to segment 3s and 4s, that's the fourth main work. This one's a little harder to track just because they're kind of bouncing around with different crews, fusing pipe and actually digging at different locations with different crews. But for all intents and purposes, this is looking from the lift station due south towards Platteview Road in the background here. This is South 63rd, Platteview in the background here. You can see all the pipe that they have laid out along Platteview and then up South 63rd Street. This is Platteview Road here in the far upper part of the page here. You can see the pipe work that they got laid out. And then just for reference, the next photo will jump over here to the Weiss property at 57th Street. So you'll see us jump right there. That was that building in the background that you've seen there. And you can see that the boring under 57th Street is underway. Piping or casing piping is in, and they're working towards laying the rest of that pipe to the east. Next photograph will get us just down around that little corner there. You can see all the pipe that they have laid out. It's not contiguous to the entire length of the project, but they'll be pulling this pipe through and across some of these roadways and driveways and stuff once they start open cutting for the installation of the pipe. And then this is just another picture basically looking back towards that curve here that we were just looking at here a minute ago. This is a boring machine that they have set up. They're boring under a lot of the trees and landscaping along a couple of the residential properties along that frontage. And there's the residential property with all those trees are boring towards the east there. This is on the other side of that tree line. You see all the pipe work, and then we get down to a creek here. We ran into some rock, and they had to drill through the rock, which was pretty intense. It took them about a month to get through all that rock, which was unexpected. It was heavily treated at the time and couldn't get borings in that location, so it was kind of an unknown issue that we ran upon once they started drilling. And then just continuing to move east. Some pictures just showing a lot of the pipe that's laid out, and this is at 42nd Street at the Platteview Golf Course intersection here. The next photo gives you a little bit better look. Looking back to the west, you can see the pipes in underneath the roadway there at 42nd Street. So, and moving on to segment 4, they actually did start the connection structure at the City of Omaha's outfall. That yellow box that you see sitting right there is some of the formwork. Some of the formwork for that structure. This is looking straight north, and then this is the same location, but looking due south. You see that box structure right there that's actually sitting right over the top of the existing outfall sewer that we're tying into with the City of Omaha.
That's Harlan Lewis Road?
Yes.
Yes. Yep, and then this is Harlan Lewis Road. That last picture was actually back over here. This is the levee system, the West Papio and the Omaha treatment plant here. So Harlan Lewis looking north. They've actually got the borings, the 2 borings across Highway 34. Those are in, and they're starting to pull pipe through those and lay pipe further south along Harlan Lewis, which that last photo was right at this location, south to the Platte Road, and they've got all the pipe that was laid out here in, and are just working on getting a little bit of section here worked, and then they're going to jump back to the west and continue west. But this Harlan Lewis Road here in the background and La Platte Road, and they've got all that pipe installed all the way up to here. So they do have another crew. I didn't have any updated photos for it, but they do have another crew still down off of South 10th Street, looking at trying to get across Pinecrest and get that open, all of 10th Street open back up here next week. So it's another picture of La Platte Road and Harlan Lewis. So with that, that's about all I have for updates as it relates to the project. I'd be happy to answer questions you might have on that issue.
And when was 10th Street going to open up again?
We talked about that this morning. It was supposed to be Monday the 27th, but with the rain last week, a couple heavy days of rain, they thought it'd probably be sometime Thursday this week.
So 30th?
The 30th, yes, sir.
Okay.
We are kicking off our rate study with Carollo Engineering. We have a kickoff meeting next, or tomorrow actually, with Carollo to try to get that issue underway. And then just a couple of shout outs here. Travis Anderson, I don't know if you guys remember Travis with the Hawkins Construction. He was kind of the project lead, did some presentations on pricing, some of the pricing packages. He did accept an offer with another company. We'll be leaving Hawkins Friday is his last day. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out. He's been a huge asset to the team, a very knowledgeable young man. And kind
Where's
of
he going?
Excuse me?
Where's he going?
I'm not real sure the name of the company, but it's someplace over in Logan, Iowa.
Okay.
So nobody local or that would be competing with Hawkins, a different market altogether, agricultural and some mechanical, electrical, HVAC type work. So just a quick shout out to him. And then I got a phone call from Rod Kirkland. I don't know if you guys remember Rod. He did a lot of design work on the line through Springfield. Rod is retiring here, I think probably the end of March. So he'll be taking a back seat to most of the work here, staying on in a limited consulting capacity just to kind of make that transition with some of the younger engineers that are taking over, but wanted to make sure that we recognized him for his service and efforts on this project. He's been a great asset to the team as well. So with that, I will answer any other questions you guys might have.
Questions?
So Jeff, that line that you're tying into that goes into the plant on the sewer line?
The outfall, yep.
So that was big enough to handle I guess I was just thinking it was going straight to the plant, but we're tying into we're intercepting that line that feeds.
That's right, yep. Yeah, that outfall sewer, and you kind of see it even in the background, the lighter soil here is actually the extension of that box culvert. It actually goes all the way into the plant. So we're not tying in directly at the plant. It's an outfall that leads to the plant.
And obviously no capacity problems.
No, that was all checked. That pipe does surcharge at times, but we've coordinated with Omaha and all their design team to make sure that it won't present.
That's the road into the treatment plant?
Yeah, the road just to the right.
Grove
Yep.
factory
That driveway approach right there, yep, is the approach into
Okay.
the treatment plant. Yes, sir.
Cool. Thank
Any other
you.
questions? All right.
Adam Charlson, legal counsel.
Land rights, in addition to the ones that are going to be addressing later, Jeff, we're about 10-ish left, 10 property owners.
Yeah.
And so I think, knock on wood, that we should get those off that aren't here today, should be squared away here pretty soon, I anticipate. So we're very near the end of that.
Does that include all the stuff that's in segment 1 and 2? The proposed route for segment 1 and 2? All the land purchases are done?
Yeah, it'll be the rest, for everything we need
Okay.
to do phase 1A, from west to east. We'll have all those done here very shortly. And aside from that, we expect to get some draft documents from the WIFIA folks by the end of next week, if not sooner. So that's going to be kind of working with the agency advisors in the county on the WIFIA things. And then, growth management plan stuff will be popping up soon. And as Jeff alluded to, we'll be probably working on rate and fees policies here probably this summer, maybe into the fall, depending on when the study gets completed. So it's going to be a lot of stuff we've seen before. We're going to come around and do a second pass at it, and hopefully we learned a few things along the way. So any questions for me?
No questions for you directly, but to the agency administrator and you. Any update on our request for the governor to come down?
I have not actually. I can follow up. I have not heard back.
Okay.
I can do that.
I mean, next time he's in the area, it'd be great to grab him for a little windshield tour. So.
Okay.
Are you talking about our meeting that we went down to?
Yeah, this is kind of a follow-up. When we were leaving, I mentioned to him it'd be great to, next time he's in the area, if we could come look at the project, so.
And then I think, and I forget his chief of staff's name, but
Lopez.
I think he was also going to check into what funds are out there that maybe we hadn't found. So, yeah, probably a good time to check in then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the consent agenda. We have 2 items, unless any of the agency members want to see those move to the regular agenda, take a motion.
So move, Bellevue.
Second.
A motion by Bellevue, second by Papillion. Any discussion? We're not getting any of the polling here.
Do you have it now?
No. I don't. Well, there it is. Okay. Please vote.
Yay, 6, nays, none, motion carried.
Okay, on the regular agenda, item number 3 is Resolution 007. It grants an exception under the agency's growth management plan and policies for a property at 19508 Buffalo Road, Gretna, Nebraska. Jeff Thompson, agency project engineer.
Chairman Kelly, thank you. Agency member mayors, can I get the screen back, please? Just to give you a quick reference here, the aerial photograph of the location of the property, it's 192nd Street, north of Buffalo Road. The request actually came to us, I know it says Gretna as far as address goes, but it's actually in Sarpy County's jurisdiction. So this exception request came to us from Sarpy County. They supported the request. It's about a 19.89 acre site, which is just a smidge shy of the 20 acre threshold for the per acre fee on the connection fees. And so we've handled a couple of these in the same way where we've allowed them a temporary septic system and an exception to only pay the single, lot rate at $4,400 as opposed to the $23,000 per acre. That would be consistent with a couple of these that we've handled that are really close to that 20 acre threshold. So we felt it was appropriate to bring this to the board for consideration and answer any questions that you might have.
I think my only question is consistency and where we're doing the one connection fee as opposed to the per acre. Have we been doing that with the others that fit the same thing?
Yes.
So this is standard.
It's been very consistent, yeah. That hovering right around 20 acres, 19 and some change, more towards the higher end of 19, but yeah, very consistent.
Appreciate it.
And then you just said that, is the fee 23,000 per acre or 21,000 per acre?
It's like 22 and some change right now. Yeah, it changes every year in July.
Okay.
So I don't remember the exact dollar amount right now, but it's 22,000 and some change. Roughly 23.
So if they didn't get the exception, it'd be $400 and some thousand for.
That'd be correct.
Land value's 82,000. Okay.
Whatever somebody will pay, I guess.
Any other questions? Motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Motion by La Vista, second by Springfield. Any further comments? Please vote.
Yay, 6, nays, none, motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 4 is Resolution 8, authorizing the agency board chair and vice chair to execute land rights purchase agreements and related instruments. Adam Charleston, Agency Legal Counsel.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly. Resolution 008 is for authorization to enter into purchase agreements for with owners of 5 different parcels, or 5 sets of owners, excuse me. All these are in segment 2. And the total comp referenced in here is been negotiated by Midwest Right Away and the agency advisor team. So we recommend approval.
Questions for Adam?
I'd make motion.
Okay,
Second.
motion by Papillion, second by Bell. Do you have any further discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, item 5 is Resolution 9, approving the filing of petitions to condemn necessary property rights. Adam Charleston.
Thank you, Chairman Kelly. Resolution 009, we're asking for authorization to file petitions to condemn on 4 separate parcels. All of these are also in segment 2. There's varying degrees of how close we are. A couple of them, I think we're very close. One of them is just, it's an out-of-town owner and they stopped communicating. I think this may get them over the hump. And another one has just been radio silence for a long, long time. So we've negotiated through Midwest Right Away since beginning, almost a year ago, maybe 6 to 8 months ago. So before we get on construction crunches and timelines, we need to square these away. So, and to reiterate, we're not filing these tomorrow. We're just seeking authorization, and we'll continue visiting with the property owner.
Questions? Motion, please.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Gretna, second by Springfield. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, item 6 is Resolution 10, approving the master agreement for professional services with Olson, Inc. Jeff Thompson, Agency
Chairman
Project
Kelly.
Engineer.
Thank you. Just to be clear, HDR is still the agency's primary consultant firm, engineering consulting firm. However, Olson and Associates has been a sub to them for the duration of this project design. Right now, I have to go through HDR directly to try to get information from Olson's, and then they send HDR a bill, and HDR bills the agency, and it's just, seems to be an inefficient way to conduct business. And so my aspirations here are to have a direct agreement with Olson, so if I need information, I call them directly. If we need additional design vetting, I can just work with them directly, and they'll bill us directly, and we'll pay those bills accordingly. So there is no dollar value assigned to this contract. It's basically just put the gears in motion to be able to utilize them in a capacity that they're basically currently being utilized in now, but directly with the agency. So
Does that impact the relationship between the prime/sub relationship with HDR?
I don't think so. I talked to Leanne about it. She's seen the item on the agenda and called just to make sure that there wasn't some bridges burned and things of that nature. And I expressed to her this is simply just to make things more efficient for us operationally, and she seemed to be fine with that. So
Any other questions?
Eliminating the middleman in government. What a novel idea, Jeff.
thank
Well, I
you.
was gonna say, do we get a better price because we're not getting a markup because they're not a sub?
Yeah.
We will not see a markup from the prime contractor. We'll put it that way. Yeah. It's not a huge markup, but it's still a markup.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by LaVista, second by Papillion. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Yea, 6, nays none, motion carried.
Okay, our next agency meeting is going to be on April 26th, 2023. All the agenda items having been addressed as published, the Sarpy County and City's Wastewater Agency Board is adjourned.
My baseball coaching career